Spoiler alert, Michael Jordan signs with Nike. Just, I know there are people that don't really like to watch movies, but they like to watch reviews or like to see what happens. So just, I got you guys. Just wanted to let you know that. Air is the newest film directed by Ben Affleck. He also is acting in the movie as well, but it stars alongside him Matt Damon, Jason Bateman, Chris Messina, Marlon Wayans, Chris Tucker, Viola Davis, just to name the main cast there. Air follows the character of Sonny Vaccaro. It's also obviously based on true events. Sonny Vaccaro is a real person. At the time in 1984, he was a basketball scout, and he's looking for a player, an NBA player who has just been drafted into the league to be the new spokesperson, the new face of Nike's newest line of basketball shoes. It's the 1984 NBA draft that's just happened, so you have guys like Hakeem Olajuwon, Sam Bowie, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, just to name a few of the guys that are coming into the league and are the big faces coming out of their college careers and into their professional careers. We found out pretty early on that Sonny is really the only one that actually sees something in Michael Jordan, and he sees him becoming what Michael eventually did become as an NBA player, and just as an athlete in general, all the achievements and things that he accomplished in his career. And he's able to convince enough people and get enough yeses and approvals to develop a shoe based around Michael Jordan, thus leading to the development of the Air Jordan shoe, which we all know by now. Very iconic, very popular, still worn by many to this day. But Nike has two other huge competitors at this time in Converse and in Adidas, both of whom Michael Jordan is apparently more interested in rather than Nike. So now we have a movie of basically all the Nike team, namely Sonny, trying to convince Jordan to sign with them and to sponsor their shoe. I'm a big basketball fan. It's the only sport I care about. I can watch other sports and enjoy them a little bit, but the NBA is really the only one that I actually have any passion in watching, and really do enjoy watching and playing as well. I like playing basketball too. So of course I was very excited to see this movie, especially after I had heard good things about it. Some people I know had seen it and really liked it, and I admittedly wasn't too blown away by the trailer. And in general, I don't think these kinds of based on true events movies are really that well marketed overall. But of course, I knew I was still going to see it, whether it was in a theater or on streaming sometime in the future. But I'm really glad I did catch it in a theater. I did have to drive, a bit of a ways out from where I live, but not a problem. It was a smooth drive. Really cool theater too. I was glad I went there. Would definitely like to go there sometime again in the future, but that's besides the point. Glad I saw this movie because I loved it. I loved Air. I like Matt Damon quite a bit as an actor. I think in particular he's really good in these kinds of roles when he's sort of going against all odds, trying to win and succeed against people that are doubting him. We Bought a Zoo comes to mind for me. That's just a very nostalgic movie for me, but I think he's great in that movie. And once again, I think he's great in this movie. Really enjoyed his performance here. I would say Viola Davis is another standout performance as well. She plays Dolores Jordan, Michael Jordan's mother. She was really great in the limited screen time that she had here. Also have to give a shout out to Julius Tenen, who played James Jordan, Michael's father. He was really great too. I don't know why he's not listed like in the main cast. Maybe just because he's a smaller name, but thought he was fantastic. Really surprised by Jason Bateman in this film as well. Not that his performance was good. I figured it would be, but his character, he plays Rob Strasser, who's a marketing VP for Nike, had a surprising amount of development. There's one particular scene when he's talking with Sonny. It's just the two of them, and it's a great moment. He's talking a little bit about his family life and a particular person in his family and how he's trying to kind of win their approval over, and it was nice. I thought it was a very touching scene. I will say that I do think Chris Messina was good in the movie, but I did not love his character David Falk. He was a little annoying to me, and I understand he is kind of supposed to be a minor villainous role in the plots, but You know, there are attempts at humor with him as well, some of which I think work. Others I think don't work and lead to like some of the, you know, the most obvious moments in the film where we're supposed to laugh, but it wasn't getting any laughs from me. This movie is set in 1984, and I think it does utilize its 1980s setting to a great deal. I, you know, fully believe that this took place in the 80s. Soundtrack I thought was a great accompaniment to the film. All the songs to my knowledge had already come out by 84, so that made me happy, because more often than not, surprisingly, these kinds of movies that take place over a time period will have songs that hadn't even come out at the time that it takes place, and it's just really frustrating for me. I don't know how that happens, but I was really happy that they got that right, at least. Another thing I really appreciated was how unpredictable it actually got towards the end, which may sound ironic because we all know how it ends, we all know what happens, but there are like really some big moments that take place in the last act where it seems like they're not gonna do it, like Jordan's not gonna sign with them, it's not gonna get done, this and that, like moments where it really does seem like it's not gonna work out, and even though you know it is, it really does kind of had me at least on the edge of my seat, like, oh my god, no, it's not gonna work. So big props to Affleck for being able to convey that, because we literally know what is going to happen, so the fact that he's able to make us doubt that and think, did it happen, is, you know, I think very impressive. Lastly, I do also just want to mention the screenplay. It was written by Alex Convery. I hope a lot of people have been talking about this. I haven't really looked into reviews, specifically what people are, you know, praising or criticizing about Air, but I think that the dialogue was handled very tastefully. It's very quick, snappy. It's makes good use of the comedic and dramatic elements as well, because there is a good amount of humor in this movie, but there's also some fittingly serious moments as well, and I think Convery just did a good job balancing those two contrasting tones, as well as having some great one-liners from certain characters. I think especially in a couple of scenes when Sonny is on the phone with another character, and there are just, you know, great moments where like he only says one thing, the other character only says one thing, or maybe he'll say one last thing to hang up the phone, and just like these great sort of, like I said, one-liners. I may be biased because of, you know, how big of an NBA fan I am, and how I, you know, just tend to enjoy things that are about other things that I enjoy and have interest in, but I really did think this was a great movie, very well directed, written, acting overall I thought was awesome. But I do honestly think that even if you're not into basketball, that you will get a kick out of this movie. There are people I know that saw this and really enjoyed it that do not care for sports, so I think that says a lot about how audiences will or have responded to this, because I know a lot of people are liking it. Air isn't going to be out for much longer to my knowledge in theaters, so I would recommend seeing it if you can possibly get out to it before it leaves. But of course there's always a little streaming as well, so, you know, do whatever you please, but I do recommend watching it, and I'm giving Air a 9.5 out of 10. As always, love to know what your thoughts are, if you liked it, didn't like it, or what you liked and didn't like about it. Also, I want to ask, what's your favorite Air Jordan shoe? Leave a comment about that as well. But thank you all for watching. See you whenever my next video is. Peace out.